Hey guys, this is Camilio and welcome to the Retro Gaming Junction. We are playing Gabriel Knight. One of my favorite games ever. I still love it after all these years. We are in the middle-ish of day 2. I don't think there's not much to do. I thought we were at the end. But there's one thing we need to do. I don't think I read the papers. Times Picayune, June 19. Oh yeah, and I looked it up just to be sure to not look like an idiot. I was 99% sure, but I just wanted to like really be 100% sure about what I was saying about St. John's Eve. So St. John's Eve is June 23rd, St. John's Day is June 24th. It is our national day here in Quebec, in the province of Quebec, in the French Canadian, and yeah. So, and I think when I played, I must have been like 12 or 13. I don't think I made the link between the two. Whoops. We'll read that again. Oh, he said something, maybe I'm not gonna say it again, whatever. A front page article describes the most recent of the voodoo murders. Gabriel scans it but learns nothing new. The article reiterates that the voodoo aspect of the crimes is faked. Gabriel shivers. It looked real enough to him. Elsewhere there's an article about the history of Jackson Square, called La Plaza d'Armas. La Place des Armes in French. Under French rule, it was used for executions, firing squads, hanging, even impalement and breaking on the wheel. Yikes. Breaking on the wheel, is it like when they stretch your... is that it? Of course, these days it's mostly a hangout to a street musician and local artist. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day. Chances of a dark star rising on this day. Do not trust your instincts. I feel the dark star rising alright. Why isn't he talking? The voices are working, right? They're not? What's going on? Voice is off? That's interesting. Okay. Okay, open the door and... Did I pick up my coffee? I need my coffee. Yep. No? You can't pick up your cup of coffee? I thought you could use some coffee. Or drink some coffee. You can't? Interesting. Oh yes, you can. Of course you can. You can always drink some coffee.
Good coffee.
Yeah, let's go. We'll take a visit to Grandma. It's been long overdue.
I'm going out.
See ya.
Gabriel needs something to change his mind off of Malia Giddy.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give us a kiss. Now come and sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
Give us a kiss. That's weird. I'm sure it's like an old expression, maybe. Let's just talk.
How you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Don't be silly. You can call me anytime. Are you okay, Gran?
I'm right as rain, boy.
Are you?
Can
we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo?
We start with the voodoo question.
Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear about it so much these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
Okay, let's screen Kate down and talk about herself.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Oh, surely you have something more interesting to talk.
Oh, come on, Gran.
All right, dear. What do you want to hear?
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden? I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma, and at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone annex, and a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for man, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was for me.
He was for me.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Just tell...
I never loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
Just tell...
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Just tell me...
I wish you'd settle down and give me a great-grandchild.
Oh, Gran. Just tell me...
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any...
Just...
I never...
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Let's talk about the night family.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Let's talk about... Harrison would be my granddad?
Tell me something about Gran...
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. I'll tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. The nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he'd lost another. And I would tell him it didn't matter to me. But he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Tell me something.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. Took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
I know you are, dear.
Tell me something.
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was! He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift. But he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Tell me something.
I don't know what else.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They were 2 peas in a pod.
And I do too. Gabriel has nightmares.
Tell me about my...
When Philip met your mother, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then.
Shit.
And he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Tell me about my father.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or a wild cat.
Tell me about my father.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school. Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
So my granddad was a poet. Daddy was an artist, a painter. He has a sketchbook we'll see later, and Gabriel Knight is a writer.
Tell me about...
He always hated it that it was Margaret's money that supported the 3 of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or 2. But he couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Tell me about...
I don't know what...
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked defying her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be a sweet gesture.
Maybe I will.
So we just got the location, but we already had that location by talking to Dr. Jones, who said that Marie Laveau's tomb was in the cemetery, No. 1.
Tell me about...
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from her great-aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
Tell me...
The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. They never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
Tell me about...
I don't know what...
You know...
No. I was so used to just skipping his first phrase.
Have you baked any of your incredible molasses pies lately?
No, dear. But you let me know when you want some, and I'll whip up half a dozen.
You've lost weight. Are you courting a new man?
Oh, Gabriel, don't be silly. You know there'll never be anyone but your granddad for me.
You're high.
Well, why, thank you, dear. So does... you always had such nice, thick hair, Gabriel.
Okay, now we can go ask about other stuff.
What can you tell...
I don't know what...
Okay, let's talk about the murders. My grandma.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
What do you...
Oh,
What
she said
do you
something
know?
different.
Oh,
No,
Gabriel.
okay.
What can you tell me?
New Orleans is very southern. Of course, though, not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff.
California
Still,
stuff.
it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
Okay, yeah, we're here. You wanna-
What...
My goodness, boy. You've lived here all your life just like me. I can't tell you much that you don't already know.
What can...
My goodness.
Do you know...
Snakes.
Snakes.
What kind of...
I don't know. Local kinds?
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one being sighted for years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Grant. Do you know anything...
I don't...
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? I remember when I was a girl, we always had a St. John's Eve Mass. The Mass was said at midnight, and we held candles. One time on the way home, we were waylaid by a large group of drunken revelers. They didn't hurt us, but I was frightened. My father was furious. We never went to St. John's Eve Mass after that.
Okay, St. John's.
What can you...
I haven't celebrated it in years, Gabriel. I'm sure there's still Mass in the more traditional
So that's why
churches,
they...
but I don't go.
This is a French like colony or something that when... I don't know exactly what happened. I guess that's why they celebrate St. John's like here.
What?
And that's it, Cabri sans corps. I think she knows.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans corps means?
Cabri sans corps.
Something without something, I think. My French is so rusty. I swear my mind is going.
It's okay, thanks.
Something without.
Do you have any idea? It's okay.
It's like I said, if you know French, this is the only word in real French. This is not really French. That's like Creole or something.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Marie Laveau? Of course! She was that voodoo woman, wasn't she? She preyed on people's fears and superstitions is what I think. There are always those willing to take other people's money for nothing. You stay away from people like that, Gabriel.
Yes, Gran. Do you know anything about Marie?
I don't...
Animal mask?
Do you know any...
Why, no, dear. Do you mean Mardi Gras masks?
Never mind, Gran.
Okay, I think that is all. We could look at stuff here, but there's nothing much. It's just really just just being here makes him feel safe, and after about 5 minutes, claustrophobic. We'll go upstairs. That's weird.
I'm going to go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
Okay, there's a bunch of stuff here. Nothing really important. Bicycle tire. Box of knickknacks. The sketchbook on the chair that Gabriel's vaguely remembers as his father's. Let's pick it up.
I think I'll take Daddy's sketchbook with me.
Let's look at it. That's my daddy's stuff. That's my daddy. Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious. Yet this, we saw this in the dreams. Did we see the snakes in the dreams? We'll eventually see them. And I think that's it, there's no more pages. But we can use, that's important, it took me a while to figure that out. You can use that, we'll need that. So, old trunk. Ladies at
From Gran's
20s.
Virginia Woolf period.
Tennis racket, serve the ball since the 40s. Ornaments every year at Christmas. All the other curtains laying the problem. Place up. This is an old trunk. What about this? Elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin, is among the discarded treasure of the attic. When I was young, this little piece here, I thought it was interesting because you can look at it, you can pick it up, you can use it. So you can use this. I think push also works, nothing happens. So this seems to be the puzzle that most people, at least, I'm gonna get to the puzzle that I had really a problem. There was that day one, but once I've passed the day one mime thing, it was just smooth sailing till day 5, I think, or 6. I will talk about it when we get there. Now you can't use these, you have to push these, which I guess is kind of annoying. If you're used to more recent games, you would just use and you'll be like, oh, it doesn't work. Trying to push the ring here, I have to admit it's not really that obvious. I don't know if that's the problem. I don't think so. People seem to be saying it's the, what do I have to do with this? Because the only ins you have, I even talked about it a little bit. Whatever, I'll leave it a mystery for now. This won't work, but you can also go out of this, because I don't think I have to do this right now. I did this day one, like on my playthrough, because I was stuck at the mime thing, so I did like everything you could do on day one. Pick up the sketchbook, use the sketchbook, and other things I'll show you later. So you can push this instead of using it, instead of trying to pick it up, you push it. And you'll eventually open it, because there's that little drawer. You have to solve the thing, so push it, and then you push it there. I always thought it was super interesting, and then I was like, oh fuck, I'll have to push a bunch of stuff in the game. Not really. Push doesn't really serve any purpose. They should have not put it, to be honest. I thought it was interesting, all these things, but in the end, this and this, open, pick up, look, that's okay, use, that's fine. Push, maybe. Makes it a little bit harder, because if you want to try everything, once I'm stuck in a point and click game, usually I will just try everything on everything. Eventually I unstuck. Sometimes it's not enough. And there's a bunch of puzzles in this game that you can't do that. So I can open the trunk now and look inside. The trunk contains some old clothes, including a pair of leather shorts.
Aren't those called lederhosen?
Serious hiking boots, more of Arson Knight's German books.
Just what I need.
And a bundle of letters, the letters between Arison and Rebecca. Can I pick it up?
I don't think there's anything in that trunk that would interest anybody but my gran. I don't think there's any...
yeah.
But
I think now I can talk to Gran about this. I think. That will help me solve this little thing. In the anniversary edition, 20th anniversary, they completely redid that whole puzzle. The clock thing.
That's it.
Can we talk?
Of course.
Tell me.
What?
Oh. Tell me.
He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Phil.
Oh, she said she was done with Arison.
Tell me.
Your granddad supported me and your father with
Oh.
books. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. The nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he'd lost another. And I would tell him it didn't matter to me. But he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Tell me some.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. Took me...
I'm sorry. Tell me.
It's just repeating yourself.
Tell me about.
Your father was Phillips.
Yeah.
Tell.
Your mother was Margaret.
Okay. Oh, I think I can show her this.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
I believe that was your father's, Gabriel. You keep it.
I think we can show her this. She has a reaction, no? He says Gabriel doesn't want to upset his grandmother with the photograph. I like that. That's tailored made for this. It doesn't say like, you can't do anything with it if I do this.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry.
So she doesn't even show it. That's fun. That like I could do this, I'm sure.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
But not the photograph. It's the little things. I'm a cop.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry.
So I could open the thing, but I'll wait till tomorrow. Maybe there'll be another hint. Because I do think that right now the only hint we have, I won't like reveal it if you don't know it yet. So all we needed here was this. Open the door.
Well, Gran.
I should have walked
Oh.
there. Go back here. So I wasn't sure this was day 2. Like I do most of the things day 1, so now I'm like, oh, so this is day 2.
Let me try to get this down.
I thought it was later in the game. That's because I do so much in the first day at the French quarters, and then we're going to go. We could go to the Lewis Cemetery. There's a couple of things to do there, but now there's a new guy in the Jackson Square. And when I saw him, I knew exactly that we had to do this today. This little guy here. Because I have these diagrams here. Like first time I did it, it was kind of reversed. I wasn't like, oh, I have a bunch of diagrams here. I need to assemble them and make a big diagram. Can I use it on that? And he'll say, no, he doesn't even say it. But it makes it more, if I try to do that, he'll say, like, I don't have any time.
Say, do you think there's anything you can do with these patterns?
I'm kind of busy, and I don't normally do requests.
Come on.
Hey, come back here. Hey! Oh, unbelievable. Rotten luck.
Okay. So now if we get this thing, he'll do the thing here. Okay, is it stuck? Okay. I don't know why it was on the shield. Let's save. I don't need those. So I got him the thing before realizing that, oh, I could ask him to make a diagram out of that. And that'll take a day to do that, and then the next day he'll have it. So this kid is small enough to get the thing. Let's just talk to him and ask him.
You dance pretty well for a kid.
Give me some money, Dan.
I don't have any.
like the view, mister.
Did you?
So he wants some money.
There you have it.
No. Oh, he said something
do-
different.
Got
No.
something to eat.
No.
There you have it.
Oh,
No.
I didn't even remember that. He says something to eat.
There.
Okay. So now I need some money. Because I can buy some hot dog from this guy.
Could I get a lucky dog, please?
Not now, I'm busy.
An unenvisioned person in the 90s? Amazing. So he doesn't even want to give me. You have to do this. To give him the certificate.
I have this gift certificate.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books, finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
You could take this gift certificate with you, if you'll give me a lucky dog.
A lucky dog for a $20 gift certificate? Well, sure. Here you go.
Even though you think about it, you're like, whoa, that's a good deal. In real life, nobody's gonna take that. No one. Nobody's gonna take a $20 gift certificate. Nobody cares about gift certificate from a rare bookstore. He's gonna come in and he's gonna be, wow, every book is $100 minimum. Some shit. Okay. Let's give him the hot dog. So we could run around with the hot dog in our pants, ask questions to Dr. Jones and stuff. Because apart from that, like, this game is good on the inventory things. Like, you can't put a ladder in your pocket or some shit like that. Like, everything here could be on my person. I have no trouble. This is, man, maybe okay. Wrapped up in my pocket or something. But the hot dog, you'll be like this. Can't put that in my pocket, so give it to him.
You wouldn't like a lucky dog by any chance.
Would I? Thanks, mister. You got any special requests? Let me know.
I've got a special request, alright. But there's other things we can do with this guy. I'll just save in case that...
Yeah.
I got one. Okay, can you fit through the bars? That's what you want to do, but you can do the Nutcracker suit in D minor. How about when the Saints go marching in? I think this one you can't do it.
Can you do the Nutcracker Suite in D minor?
Say what?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
And I think this is what he was doing before.
How about when the Saints go marching in?
Sure. Hey guys, Saints!
Saints.
Got it, kid.
Yeah, it's pretty much what's always here. No, it's the default song. Yeah, that's what I thought. I have to let him finish, so fuck it.
You meant?
Yeah.
Can you fit through the bars?
Can you fit through?
Can I? Just watch me.
Good. There's something in there I can't quite reach. Come on. Can you reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing. Here you go. Yep. See ya.
Thanks, kid. So we give the thing to the guy. Now he's gonna be super friendly with us all of a sudden.
This belongs to you, doesn't it?
My drawing. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was a bit of a squeeze, but I hate to see you lose your work. I lost my only copy of a manuscript once.
Well, you saved my butt. Let me know if I can ever do the same for you, huh?
Yeah, you can. He says different things depending on if I give him this or this one first, I think. Alright, I'll just save because this is the end of the day. No, I already had a day to end here, so.
Say, do you think there's anything you can do with these patterns?
What do you need?
Is there any way you can reconstruct the whole pattern from these partials?
The pattern is probably circular, and there's some repetition in the elements. What is this from, anyway?
You'd never believe me.
Okie dokie. Well, there's... I think there's an area missing. If you could get me any more of these...
I'll see what I can do. I have another one of those patterns.
Really? Let's see. Yeah, this is great. I think there's enough overlap now. I'll give it my best shot. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow.
Great.
Excellent.
I appreciate it.
I don't really like the fact that we get that design now, because eventually we'll need it, and we will already add it. It's kind of what I don't like about some of the point-and-click games. Well, mostly all of them, when you sometimes don't know exactly what you were doing, which is 99% of the time, I think. So you kind of do things in reverse, like you're picking up stuff and then later, oh yeah, I need that. But if you would have been at the place first, you would have said, or you would have thought maybe, oh, I'll need a cup. And then when you pick up the cup, you know exactly, oh yeah, I need that cup for later. But what happens is you pick up everything and you just arrive in front of the puzzle, and now you're like, what I have in my hands, what can I do with what I have right now? Instead of going to... It's getting late, that's what I thought. I wanted to talk about the fact that I went to New Orleans, and this park here, when you go out of the park, like, it's not like, boom, the church. Like, there's not a street, but it's kind of weird that when you go up here, you arrive right in front of the church. Again with the three snakes. Day 3. Drawn to Bacchus's abode, I sought there to conspire, but it was in the city of the dead that I found my heart's desire.
I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them. I also checked out Kazanu. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Great, thanks.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Getty, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
Are the stars out tonight?
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested? She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Great.
Oh.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right. You should be jealous of Malia Getty, as should every woman on this planet.
Oh, never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is, to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
He's such a jerk. Oh,
Hey, kids.
fucking Bruno.
Bruno.
Gabe, pet. I just popped in to see if you're desperate enough to sell me that painting.
You know what? We do need money. Are you ready to drop dead? GS today. How much would you give me?
How much would you give me for it, Bruno?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Yeah, we do. Well, I mean, we can come back here. Okay.
Well, I guess I don't need the money that badly.
From the looks of this shop, I'm sure you will, my boy. And soon.
We don't need the money right now. But when I need it, I don't want to sit here and be like, But they seem to be coming in almost like poof every day. I'm sure it's a timing thing now that this is running on like SCUMMVM modern computers. Timings are different. They might have even fixed it just to be sure that like it doesn't come after 5 minutes or something. Because I do remember playing on DOS, like in the original back in the day, on floppies even, the non-talkie version, which came at the same time as this, so there's no big difference. But like he didn't come in like every day, like boom, first thing in the morning. Yeah, you had to fuck around here a bunch. So she gave me pages here. Sea World Travel Agency, blah blah, Canaveau, Critters, Victims, Kazanu. Those 4 names here, we can try those. I think she has messages for us. Oh, and we have to read the papers. June 20, Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. Nice. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's all score for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
It's worse. It's getting worse day and day.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Message?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're interrogating a suspect this morning and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Oh yes.
Do you have more messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours.
Oh.
I took down his number. If you change your mind and want to give him a call back, just ask me for it.
Oh, Ritter. That's the next hint I wanted. Now we have all the hints to solve that puzzle. I didn't need that, like I said. I'll explain.
Do you have more messages for me?
I've given everything.
Everything. His phone number.
Can I get that?
Sure. I'll give it to you when we're done.
When we're done.
Sure.
No research.
Okay. I don't. I told you.
Could have done some, like that's one of the things I wanted to do the first time I played. I wanted to do research on Cabri-Sancourt. Come on. She does some research for now. Only she only found like Casanova. That took 5 seconds. She took the phone page, she took a page, there you go. And Malia Gedi might have been more difficult.
Thanks.
But for now, research has only been find the address of someone. Yeah, let's do some calling. We're here. We're gonna call people. Let's call the German guy. Oh, I should have said at the start of day 3. Okay, the phone. What's his number? Oh my. I think I can't do that. You really have to use this and type the number. I think. Yeah, you can't use this on that. So at least I can read it there. I can't access this, so if I couldn't read that, that would suck. Memory? Gabriel's never figured out how to operate the memory function on this phone. Yeah, like everyone. He's a normal human being. 4909. 4909. 324. 324. Ouch, that was 3333.
I'm not calling some stranger in Germany. I still don't know who this guy really is.
Oh, okay. We can't. Okay, that's fine. But he's a relative. Maybe I can talk to my grandma about him. I think I can. So this is the numbers for 1270. 122. I should write that down. Uh, 1270. 1220. 1280 and 1237, I think. If you squint, it helps. Okay. Use. It's the last one, I'm pretty sure, but we'll do them all. There's some funny ones in there.
Hello.
Hi, is this the Kazanu residence?
Yes. What can I do for you?
Do you or does anyone in your family patronize the Dixieland drugstore?
I'm a busy man. What are you selling?
Nothing.
Good. Goodbye.
I can't just, you have to use it again. 555 122.
Hello, Kazanu residence?
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me.
Yeah?
A woman in the Dixieland drugstore dropped her purse today, and the name Kazanu was inside it.
Dixieland drugstore? Never heard of it. Sorry.
He's hanging up again. 555 1280.
Hello?
Hello? I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet. Who is this?
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
That's her. But that doesn't work. Can I do it again? Let's try it again.
Yes?
Hi, I called earlier about your drugstore order.
Hush, Castro! I told you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. And there's the last one, I think. 1237.
Yeah, what do you want?
Sorry. I think I have a wrong number.
Good.
Garrett. Off. So what you have to do here, there's two things that like pop. There's the Seed the World Travel Agency, but that'll be interesting later. But the Cat and Critter Veterinary Clinic. We know that she has a dog. So 555-6170.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Oh, I can ask about snakes. Madame Kazanu, know anything about animal sacrifice? Let's go with the Kazanu.
Do you have a Madame Kazanu as a client?
Madame Kazanu? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
She's my aunt and I've lost touch. I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons. She's won the major prize. The only one that works is this one. Because since I mentioned Castro, she's gonna be and to mention Castro, you might have to call Kazanu first.
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
But as a 12-year-old, I was like, Castro dancing lesson? What? Dancing lesson for a dog? I really did. What? You can do that? Oh, there's this. I didn't remember the radio.
Hi, this is Ray Bob Gelmy saying come on down to Gelmy Auto Center for the best deals in new and used transportation. You'll be glad you did.
And I don't think there's anything really fun in there. Bunch of novels. Piloted by some female or not. Mementos. T-shirts. Eventually the radio comes back in. I think there's ads in there. Just save over this.
I've got some things.
See ya.
See ya. So I can go to the Kazonu, but there's a couple of things I need to do before that. Attend that lecture could be fun. But I think the most interesting thing is the interrogation of the... That's what Gabriel would do, I think. Can we go back to Giddy? I don't think we'll be able to enter. But yeah, we want to go to the interrogation of one of the is it a witness or I'm not sure. I remember who the guy is. Crash. Can I just go in? Yeah, I can just go right in.
You son of... Give me back my badge.
Oh yeah.
Now, Knight!
Sure. Thanks for letting me borrow it.
Yeah? Well, you borrow it again in your history. Now, about today. Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. Well, he's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning to Jackson Square. Pushing coke? He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. You been present at the so-called voodoo ritual?
I don't know nothing. I told you.
Oh, come on now, you can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go, man.
Now, you relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were plainclothesmen.
Plain clothes, like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Now, who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. Now, you tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you in the witness protection program. But you have to earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Don't make me laugh. Jesus, just let me out of here.
Now, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
By now they know I'm here. I mean, it's different when I'm supposed to come here. Or if I can send a message. Tell him I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's freaking useless. Take him back to detain him, would you, Tony? I tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum and damn the civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn! We can only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I might have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. For the book I made. Maybe you can punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction, that's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Let's talk.
Can I ask you about you?
Okay,
what's the state?
It sure is. There's a lot of brakes being applied in different areas of the investigation. We're getting some real info on the victims now, and they're not exactly upstanding citizens. And I was hoping to get more out of Crash, but he's scared shitless. We'll have to let him go tomorrow morning.
What's the state?
I told you, it's going for shit.
Have you ever called the hair club for men?
Hey, T-Marie, how you doing? I'm doing great. That's it for now, right? There's nothing I can show this guy. Mosley. He doesn't look like it, but he's a really good detective.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
Ciao, baby.
Oh, we can talk to him. I don't even know why they give him. Like, he's not a character that should have a portrait.
What?
He's not. There's nothing interesting to talk about. Gabriel Knight is an okay detective. No, I wasn't talking about Gabriel Knight. No, Gabriel Knight is not a good detective. He's just pretty. No, I thought about. I said Mosley. Mosley is a good detective. He's a writer. And he's a woman's man.
I'm here. He's in his.
Yeah, he's on
Tell me.
himself. No.
Do you know anything?
You don't want to make me repeat.
Oh, we talked about.
Do you?
I told you.
Are
you don't want to?
Oh, we talked about all these things. There's nothing to talk to him about. Like maybe the voodoo murders. He talks about a little bit about that. And the other thing that was interesting is going to the lecture here. So we can go there. I just want to save while going there. Let's go back to Gilly. Going out of the French Quarter. Can we do something with this?
Oh, it's you. Miss Getty is not at home, sir. Can you tell me where she is? It's very important. She's visiting her mother's grave, Mr. Knight. Something even you can't be tasteless enough to want to interrupt.
Oh, we're going to the cemetery, boys. Fuck the university.
I tell...
So you know about Gabriel Knight, Thievery? It's one of my favorite games of all time. I played the whole series and this game most of all. So we've got a couple more DOS streamer and retro trades this day. We could use your wise guidance. Please, yes, please tell me who they are. Not necessarily in the chat here, but on my Discord or in like a private message or something. Please send them to me or send me to them. I'll go see them. I'll go there. I'll go to their stream and talk to them if I can. I usually prefer that. So yeah, let's go to the cemetery. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, what's interesting here, you can see all the freaking roads. They really didn't have to do that. And I did come here. My hotel was St. Louis Street. I think it was kind of here. It wasn't like you had to go like 2 streets to get to Bourbon. Bourbon is this, right? No? Or this one? Yeah, this is Bourbon Street. This is supposed to be corner Bourbon and Domain, I guess. So it should be more here than here. Because in the intro you see the thing, it says Bourbon Street. What is Doghead? Oh, that's Casanou's residence. What is the Doghead? She doesn't stay here long, I think, and then, like, in a couple of days she won't be there. So, you know, I don't know why they didn't know what to put here. The face of the dog for Casanou. I guess we could have seen the face of Casanou maybe, or just a bunch of apartment buildings. Like if we go here. Yeah, this could have been hit. We need a bunch of stuff to go in there, but that's not important. I mean, he's not interested in that so much, Mr. Knight. Why would he be? Another thing that's like, I'm picking up information that will be a little bit more important later. And you do that like in the day before. Kind of bugs me a little bit, but hey. Maybe the 20th anniversary does a better job, but I don't think so. You have to space things out, and it's kind of difficult. I'm sure the first draft of this was more than 10 days, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we can pick this up.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
Oh yes, I think we can look at them. Yeah. The marks are reddish in color and remind Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here for a few days at least. Oh, he's moving. Literally anything else but puppy face. But that's the way we found the address. So. Near the Lavo tomb is a piece of red brick, undoubtedly a cast-off from spiritual graffiti writers. So I'm gonna need that, but not for now. I think I could even write something right now. Likes the idea of leaving marks on a tomb, but at the moment he's not sure what to say or how to say it. So good. So good. Like hints that something will happen here, but right now you can't. But it's not like your usual. You can't do that. There's a lot of custom responses to stuff, and all that amounts to enough information. We hope so. The game hopes so. The devs hope so. So this is my family tomb, the Wright family tomb. Several of Gabriel and Grant's family members are laid at rest. And
these are Grant's folks. I never knew.
Yeah.
These are Grant's sister. She died young. Granddaddy. Daddy.
He goes back and forth between this and the other place.
My mother.
My mother. So we can talk to that guy. We'll talk to him in a second. Oh.
Malia.
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
I noticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else.
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
Whatever for?
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you've got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I have a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See? I knew it. You're crazy about me, too. Come by tonight. Please. My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Damn it.
Gabriel's going crazy. I think I would too. Because she's clearly crazy about him, and he's clearly crazy about her. And you would think that that doesn't make any sense. I mean, they saw themselves like twice. He talked to her maybe for 10 minutes. 15. And that's it. But there's a reason for that. The plate is locked in position. There's a keyhole on the plate, but Gabriel can't operate that without a key. The Geddes tomb is like pretty intense. Subtle. An angel draped dramatically over stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb. Oh, I didn't even say it, but like that big tomb at the front, it's clearly what's supposed to be Mary Laveau's tomb. But I went to New Orleans, like I said a bunch of times, and we went to, well, that was funny. Like there's 3 or 4 cemeteries like this in the French Quarter. Cemetery like French Cemetery 1, 2, and 3, 4. St. Louis Cemetery 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. And like in the tourist brochure, some will like say Mary Laveau's tomb is here. Some will say Mary Laveau's tomb is someplace else. But when we went there. And there's a bunch of unmarked tombs, so you don't even know who's there. Like a tomb like this, there's nothing, it's just a tomb. And we went to the tourist tour, of course, and I talked about it. And the guy showed us what he thought was the Mary Laveau's tomb, and there was a bunch of like offerings. But me and my girlfriend went around, and my God, it was hot outside the cemetery. I don't know how it was, but it was 2012 or something like that. I don't know, but it was like there was a heat wave in the US, like even up here where I live. Yeah, there was a big heat wave, and it was already booked our stuff, so we didn't know. But it was crazy going down there. We went in the cars, drive all the way to New Orleans. And it was humid, it was hot, and in that cemetery it was just freaking crazy. Like a sauna. You could go into the cemetery and it was like... And what I wanted to say is, a bunch of tombs look like that. Hey, Ivalon! And one tomb in particular was really nice, but not nice. It stood out a little bit more, and it was unmarked and all, and it had some more offerings than others. It was some weird stuff. I don't know why, but I looked at it and I was like, I'm sure some other people think that that's Mary Laveau's tomb, and maybe it was the real Mary Laveau's tomb. Who knows? You know, they made a 20th anniversary. Of course I know that. I talked about it in length. I keep referring I talked about it like 5 minutes ago because I played it recently, like when it came out, but I've played this version way more, and I recommend this version above the 20th version. Mostly because of Mosley, who's played by Mark Hamill, and this guy who's played by Tim Curry. But other reasons, even I think the music, the graphics, just feels more genuine for me. And of course there's the nostalgia, but yeah, I was really ready to love the new version, even though the voices change. But the 3D characters on the 2D backgrounds, the animation, the voice acting, it's meh. It's very meh. And this was a top Sierra production, one of the first voiced Sierra game, if not the first. I think it might be the first Sierra voiced game. Like 1992 for a voice game is pretty soon-ish. So yeah, this is like what I think Dr. John is referring to. Yeah, this is a Tom of Mary level, Voodoo Queen of Europe. Odd looking marks. I want to talk to the guy.
A marble snake.
That's cheerful. There's a couple of scenes like this, and this cemetery might be it, that are more faithful since I went there. Like, doesn't really look like this, I'd be honest. To be honest, what it looks like is kind of a labyrinth of tombs. So you're always in a hallway of about like 1 to 2 meters large, and there's tombs, high tombs everywhere. So it's kind of like you have to go around, and it's easy to, if you want to visit all the tombs, it's really easy to miss some, because like it's a bunch of roads and shit. And sometimes you can just pass between two and just like, oh, I'll just go there and just shortcut there. It's not meant really to walk around. Let's just talk like this to this guy.
Could I have a minute of your time?
Yeah? What can I do for you?
Kind of a quiet job you've got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah, they act up some at the full moon, though.
What about St. John's?
You've been working here
longer than you've been alive, son. I may have to be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
How's business?
About like every day. It's what you call a seller's market.
Did he say would be here longer than I would be alive? Did I? Is there a ghost or something?
You've been working here
longer than you've been alive, son. I may have to be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
That's weird. I never really talked to these characters with the exclamation point, because there's no reason to, apart from the odd dog stand and the people that you cannot use that. So they could have used one dialogue thing, like removing this and this. You could have like 6 icons instead of 8. Because I wouldn't go with 7 icons. It just doesn't work on the UI.
Could I have a...
What you need?
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go with the voodoo stuff. Yeah, we can talk to him directly with
What
voodoo
can you
stuff.
tell me about...
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you...
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
I don't do it.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Ain't it just awful, them finding those bodies with voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks is all.
That's what they're saying.
What do you know?
I told...
What can you tell...
Seems like everybody want to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives.
You should.
And they love the cemetery tour. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
I wouldn't say the cemetery is the big thing. There's nothing like... There's no place to go. Like, I wouldn't say go there to see that thing. Go there to see... No. Just go there and bask into the culture. And the people are like... really, really good people. Like, people are funny. There's like a real relaxed atmosphere. It's crazy. People run around with I've never seen people so chill on alcohol. I don't know what they put in the alcohol there, but people are really relaxed. Here, people on alcohol here in Canada, even in the US, people get aggressive, they get dumb and stupid loud. You want to punch them in the face stupid. But I was walking on Bourbon Street when everybody was like completely shit-faced, and it's like, yeah, people are like just party on, and it's really fun. It's a good place to be, I think. You know,
What can you...
There's lots of things to see here, but none are as beautiful as the St. Louis Cemetery.
Do you know...
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them ain't poisonous, of course.
There's one thing I have to say, because I don't want to say go to New Orleans and you go to New Orleans and be like, was you talking about that? Because there's a couple of things that I have to say about... I'm just gonna say it right here for forgetting about it. But when you go to Bourbon Street, like after 7 or 8 in the PM, maybe it's 10, I don't know. But it becomes like more like red light district kind of thing. And it's very like barely legal and those kind of thing. And I wasn't like really... I wasn't really happy about that. And I was with my wife at the time. She was pregnant even. And we were like, come on, barely legal. Oh, it's kind of like, oh, I don't want I don't want anything to do with that. Like, but apart from that, like the cheerfulness is cool, but the barely legal stuff, I hope they remove that. Like, don't say barely legal. That's just little.
Do you know any...
I don't mind.
What's the...
Why, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get some weird goings-on in that cemetery on that night. More often a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and more.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do with them, but it can't be pretty.
What?
I told you all I know about that.
Do you have any idea?
No, can't say.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans. A powerful voodoo queen and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leaving offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from the Voodoo Museum, he's here at least once today. But Marie Laveau's tomb ain't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
Well, Mr. Dr. Jones come every day to see Marie Laveau's tomb, he says. That's important information.
Do you? What else?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to go. Of course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all, but down in an unmarked tomb in number 3.
Yeah, that's
all
where
the
we
same
went.
to me, I say. Save me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
I think we went to the cemetery number 3, I think. It was the one that looked the most interesting, and I don't know. I don't remember clearly. I have no memory of these events. Just a bit big, blur.
Do you know anything about...
I don't know what you talking about.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis number 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, cause, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Yeah, that can happen, I guess. I know that people are still being buried there, though. Even though in this game you see that the tomb where Gabriel his family tomb, his father's there, his father and mother. I think they died relatively recently.
Tell me.
That's about all.
What's funny about the unmarked tomb on cemetery number 3 is when we went there, it was really advertised. It was an unmarked tomb, but it was almost like there were signs like pointing like Marie Laveau's tomb, come in. But the other tomb, it was the same cemetery, but a tomb that looked more interesting, I think. I have it on photos somewhere. Other marked tombs.
You said there were other marked tombs?
Yep. I seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and corn green, animal parts, human parts even, it looked like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this at one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so. Don't know how that sort of thing gets started. Why folks come to start leaving stuff at that one spot. But it happens all the same.
What?
No.
What does he say? No.
Don't.
What other tombs get
Can
marked?
you show me? Okay.
Don't.
Tell me something about...
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins would float right out of their graves. Them dead would go floating right down into the water. Course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice.
Yeah, that's a thing. It's... I don't know exactly if that would happen, but yeah, they have trouble with the soil. You can't bury
Tell me something
people.
about St. Louis Cemetery, #1.
It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War and back further too. Take a look around, you see.
Somebody in the tour
Tell
really
me
explained
something
it
about...
clearly.
Just look
and I
around,
was
just
like,
look
oh,
around. You
okay.
get to be...
I couldn't really explain it right now. Like exactly what would happen if you, because we can walk here. This is not a swamp, so I don't think that the coffin would go out of, maybe like after a couple of years, maybe. Oh no, I think what they the guys said, it's also because of the heat and the humidity. Anyway. Oh, let's stay here a while and listen. And I'll take a little break here, come back in a couple of minutes. And we'll go to the university, I think, see the lecture there. Yeah. We need to talk to Dr. Jones, I think, about this. Oh yeah, we can show these markings. Oh, we need to get that. Yeah, that's the first thing we need to do. Save. Get pattern. That's what I want to do right now. Get the full pattern that we need. And then we'll show that pattern to plenty of people. Come back in a minute. Okay, we're back. Let's get that pattern. I don't think the hot dog stand is there anymore. Oh yeah, it is. Can I talk to him?
You seem to be quite a...
Yep.
Did you ever read anything by Gabriel Knight?
No.
Oh, he's a reader. Okay, I'm dumb, but I never really connected the dot on that. In the bookstore and the gift to the bookstore. Okay, that makes more sense. Still, in real life, nobody would... No, nobody reads. Nobody reads. Oh yeah, this is fun. This is definitely fun. The booth is a colorful melange. It announces the owner as Madame Laurelie and gives prices for palm reading, 20 bucks, crystal ball gazing, 50 bucks, Dr. DCS, 15 bucks. Where's the narrator? I removed her. She talks really slowly, and I talk.
Come on, boys, hoopla!
Oh, oh, she's gonna dance for us. Ooh yeah. I don't think we can do anything now. We can put her back on if you want. I have no problem. I thought most people found her annoying. I don't. Personally, when I play, I put it on.
The booth is a colorful melange. It announces the owner as Madame Laure. The owner is currently plying a different sort of wares, however. Gabriel doesn't... Gabriel doesn't...
I'm gonna take her snake, but you can't.
Why do...
Can I talk to her while she dances? Can I dance? I think I can dance with her.
She's busy at the moment. She's busy. Madame Lorelei dances only when she's inspired. Madame Lorelei...
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna keep it on. Pick her up. Oh yes! I knew her. I knew it.
Not a bad idea.
Points.
Ooh, baby, I love the way you move.
Madame Lorelei winks knowingly at Gabriel and twitches her hip.
Yep, she wants me.
We can ask her to dance though. I thought we needed to ask her to dance. It's the first time that she dances, because I stopped and I started talking and then she was like, okay boys, it's time to dance. This is completely optional, this thing here. At least I think.
Thanks, boys.
Sometimes I might say something's optional because it's not really story related or doesn't really advance the plot. But it might be something you need to do for the day to switch. Because what you need to do each day is not really clear for me. I think what you need to do for the day one is... No, that's like the first. The first one is really easy. You just need to go to the beach and then ask for the address and that's it. The second day you need to do 3 things. You need to see Malia. You need to ask to research the Kazanu address, and you need to give the pattern to the guy. Pick up that thing.
Gabriel doesn't want to take that out of the... Gabriel
What? Pick up the thing. I think we can do this.
Gabriel examines the veil with a magnifying glass. That sequin looks a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale. the fortune teller's veil is studded with sequins.
Oh, I think you can do this. I thought you could do it in
Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to remove the snake scale from the veil. Those two objects would have no effect.
I think you have to use this on this.
Gabriel magnifies the scale from the fortune teller. The iridescent scale is hued olive green. It doesn't seem to match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
Pontchartrain?
The iridescent...
I should just say it again. I wanted her to say the Pontchartrain. Pontchartrain, c'est pas dur, calique? Pontchartrain. And she's from there.
This is the first page. This is the last.
Like, even though you would think that her accent is great, it's not. I'm French and her accent is okay. It's an American girl doing, or an English girl maybe, doing an Orlean accent. The accent of New Orleans is not as thick as the narrator. It's definitely not as thick as Gabriel Knight has a thick New Orleans accent. I think. For a guy who looks like a white guy, I'm sorry. I don't want to be racist or anything. No. She's an actress. She won a prize for that role here. So some people liked her, that's for sure. But Tim Curry's accent is so over the top, I think. In Gabriel Knight 2, you have a much toned down Gabriel Knight that fits more with, I think, his upbringing. But I guess if he lives in the French Quarter and he lived in the French Quarter all his life, maybe yeah, he would maybe have a like thick accent like that. Yeah, he's Tim Curry is English. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that would make sense. He's not Creole or Orleanian. Do you know who's New Orleanian? New Orleanian or comes from New Orleans? Oh shit! It's just because I want to say his name. God damn it! I have to check it on the internet database. What the fuck? National Treasure guy? and Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is from New Orleans, believe it or not. So this guy should have our painting.
How's it going today?
What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow, this is great.
Uh-huh. Just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and good luck.
Oh, yep. Doing our thing. I'm gonna do our thing. Yeah, he doesn't like the pattern. Gave him
the juggler is busy.
Can I talk to this guy?
The drummer is...
If you notice, there's a bunch of drummers in the city. Oh, it is also one of my favorite. But you know what? I would have said that like... But just before playing this, I listened to the theme of Gabriel Knight 1, 2, and 3 and a couple of other songs from Peter Holmes, I think? Robert Holmes? Mr. Holmes, who did all the soundtrack. Yeah, exactly. The second one is, I really like the second one, is it's emotional, it's sad, but the third one is epic. And it feels like the songs, and I talked about it in the first time I played this 2 days ago. but the songs fit with each game. Like this song is like the classic Gabriel Knight theme. The second song has still bits of it's still some kind of variation of the Gabriel theme, but much more dramatic, much more somber, and the game is like that. The third one is much more epic because the game is like that. It's like the magnus opus of Gabriel Knight. Magnum opus, but oh, we don't have to do anything here. So I think completely objectively, I would think maybe my favorite is the third one, but they're all really good. But you know what, I never listen to, and on YouTube I type like Gabriel Knight theme or Gabriel Knight like live theme or cover or stuff like that, and I listen to a couple of them, but there's not one that I'm like, ah, well, that one feels really good, because like the game, the first time I heard it was like ad-lib, or like Sound Blaster ad-lib, after it was like MIDI, and this is even still MIDI. There's no alternative for this. But even the 20th edition has a remix of that song. I don't even like it. It's good, but I don't know, it feels different. I'm listening to live orchestral version of it, which are good, but like the sound isn't like perfect because it's a live thing. Like for me there's no like perfect recording with just orchestral is too much even for this game. I would feel a more jazz band, like 5-person, like a trumpet, a piano, drums and stuff like that, and just do the classic theme. But yeah, let's go to Tulane University and see that marvelous.
It looks like the lecture is just starting. Gabriel decides to record the session.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all those spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread, mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa, and this is called being ridden. The human worshiper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezruli, the mistress of love, Babanebo, or Gede, the lord of death, Agwe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Hounfours. Their priests, Hungun or Bokors. Their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a Voodoo Hounfour, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poto Mita. The ritual circle is prepared with a veve, a pattern of symbols. Each tribe's veve is slightly different, consisting of complex symbols that identify their special Loa. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves include the ritual gourd or asson, the ritual knife or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The ritual whip or fouet cache, and the ritual coffin or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any Voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She... butterflies. Fireflies.
Firelight. No, what is it? Gabriel?
What? I can't see.
Gabriel, get in.
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel. Hide.
No, no. Let me out. Help.
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my God, sorry.
And for me, this is the information you would need to, I need to make a pattern to give to this guy. Unfortunately, I wanted to do a little bit of stuff before going in. We'll go in, but I won't give him the pattern because he just runs with it. So we're gonna go talk to him. What's this?
Gabriel scan Greek night at the Alpha Psi Omega frat house. It looks like it took place sometime last spring. Gabriel, there's a notice for a lecture on investigative reporting techniques. Unfortunately, it's weeks away. By that time, Gabriel will have to have learned on his own. Gabriel, need a...
I wouldn't go there.
Gabriel, work out of your home and make up for 2,000.
I actually called them once. You sell cat food over the phone.
Nice.
Gabriel, ha! We'll do algebra or biology homework for food. Gabriel, jazz jam session every Tuesday at... Gabriel, haircuts for $10 a head.
Like I'd let an amateur touch these locks.
Gabriel, Greek now. Gabriel, there's a notice
Yeah,
for a lecture
Laura
on
Bow.
investigative reporting techniques to be unpublished.
I did not get that back then.
A projection.
Are you a student?
Whoa.
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you have walked into my private office, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
And well, while I'm waiting, just go around, stay here for the night. And, there's a lot of stuff in this office. It looks completely crazy, but you know what? I went to university, at least 2 universities, and professor's office, there's no aquarium. At least not a big aquarium like that. Maybe, if he's really hot. But most will have so much stuff around, like books and just... It's crazy. You can barely walk in.
The door leads. Dr. Hartridge's office is crowded with mad and old.
It depends. Some people are more tidy, but I went into like offices of more in the arts, and in the arts you'll have, like, of course, books and papers, but on top of that, like, you'll have all the other things. Because a history guy wouldn't have too many of those. Like, that's crazy. Unless the camera here is like in yeah, we're in a bookshelf, I guess. Like, this is a...
The squatter grins malicious. The carved stone head looks African. That mask is quite hidden. It's Hartridge's file cabinet. It's an enormous stone head. It's Dr. Hartridge's office is Dr. Hart. Exotic fish lend even more color to Dr. Hartridge's sharp-eyed and even sharper tongue. When he condescends to look at Gabriel et al., it's with a Dr. Hartridge's sharp. The shelves behind Hartridge's desk are full of old books. The shelf, Dr. Hartridge.
Did you know there's a whole branch of archaeology devoted to garbage? Maybe you should look into it.
Oh, maybe I should.
The shelves, Dr.
I like his little, like, flat sense of humor. Okay, let's talk to him.
Your lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so? You were snoring so loud I didn't think you'd heard it.
Yeah, I did record it, but if you listen to it, at the moment that when I was young, I was like, oh, but I recorded it. But as soon as you fall asleep, it's like, it says the snoring is too loud and you can't listen to the rest of the tape.
You must travel.
Yes, to Africa, mainly.
I suppose having all this voodoo stuff sitting around doesn't make you nervous at all.
It's voodoo stuff, and no. Why should it?
I'm very interested in voodoo myself right now.
How nice for you.
Hey, you've got quite a collection of...
My travels have been rewarding, yes.
Your lecture...
Oh, you...
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my office.
I don't think... I always felt his voice and his face didn't really fit for some reason. Oh, I can ask about Veve now. Cool.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
What can
you already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
Hey.
What can you...
You already sat through my...
What do you know?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit, to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treats voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
So he does believe in the power.
What do you know?
As I said, I don't know anything but what the papers say. According to them, there's no reason for me to be interested.
Oh yeah, because of the lecture, I completely forgot about Dr. DCS. You talked about the Gabriel Knight collection, the soundtrack on CD. Yeah, I listened to the soundtrack on YouTube, and again, doesn't really. It's good, but I'm sure someone somewhere could do a better rendition. I'm sure of it. I can feel the power of that music. I can feel the notes. Like it's like when you listen to a song like in Mega Man or Mega Man X or like these crazy good soundtrack on 8 bits. You can you know that it can be really great. And I listen to covers of those songs on YouTube, and oh my god, some of them are like wow. It's the same notes and it's the same thing, but like played with instruments and with great talent. It's incredible. Because a great song can be interpreted in so many ways, and sometimes you think that interpretation is the gold, but then you see the platinum and you're like, oh fuck the gold.
What do you know? As I said, I don't. What can you... I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans. The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery, in turn, has dominated New Orleans voodoo. What else? If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should
read my books.
Do you know anything? I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
That snake thing is only for one thing, and you'll soon find out, but it's sorry, the problem is that since you'll need to ask someone about snakes, like I'll need someone to ask about Veve. The game needs to put it in that blue list instead of that other list that is more personal. There's two lists here. There's the list that I bring with me that I can ask everyone, and there's the other list that is just with that character. And that's that. They could have made it more personalized, like I can't ask my grandmother about snakes and Animal Mask, or I can't ask this guy about, I don't know, this guy I can ask about anything, I guess. You know what I mean. I think he knows what that means. What's St. John's?
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's June 23rd, the feast day of St. John the Baptist. The June 23rd has been a sacred day since the earliest times. Ancient sun worshippers used to roll a flaming wheel down a hill to celebrate the sun's descent on that day.
A burning wheel? Huh.
Yeah, that's... yeah, he sees that in his dream. We see it in the cutscene, but he refers to the burning wheel. Like, he sees it more often than at least we seem to see it. I don't know. They could have made more emphasis on that burning wheel. Oh, I think we see it later in the dreams, but we haven't seen it now for some reason. St. John?
I'm not...
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sans Coeur means?
Cabri Sans Coeur? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
Yeah, that's what it means. Cabri Sans Coeur is a human. So we go back to that conversation with the drugstore, or not the drugstore, no, but the Dixie store, whatever, that's selling some hoodoo, not voodoo, but hoodoo Grigories. And he said, when we talked about voodoo murders, he just said Cabri Sans Coeur. So he just knew that. But still, it's kind of like, that guy looks suspicious. But I can say to you that he's a dumbass, that store owner. But yeah, Cabri Sans Coeur, but I still don't get it. I'm French, and Cabri is not something, Sans, yes, okay. And Coeur, it's corne, C-O-R-N-E, corne, without horns. And goats, I guess, would be chèvre. Cabri. I need to check. Cabri, is it something? Cabri. Wiktionary says that it's Latin. It's fucking Latin. It's literally nothing. So either it's noun Cabri kid young goat. Oh, that's even worse. So a Cabri is a young goat? I didn't know that. What? If I type into Google young goat, what is a young goat? There's known as kids. That's fucking weird. That's even weirder. What the fuck? Huh. So somebody could say, I need to sacrifice kids to my god, but that wouldn't mean like kids. It would just mean baby goats or young goats. That is so weird. Oh, Caprine. Caprine might be the family, the goat family. Oh. That's not a goat. That's a mountain goat. Relating to or resembling goats. Ah, Cabrine. We're learning stuff. Okay, let's go with
what was that translation?
I'm not in the habit of repeating myself.
Just look at your recording.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of voodoo somewhat interesting from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true voodoo practices.
Yeah, you would think that.
Do you know anything about
You
Marie
would be
Laveau?
wrong.
I'm not in the habit of repeating my...
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
But I guess voodoo is not like Marie Laveau is voodoo. Voodoo is like before voodoo. It's not as evil, I guess. But it's the same thing. They have Veve. They have all the other things.
Do you know?
I'm not in...
Do you?
I'm not in the habit...
Veve.
Tell me.
If you'd taken notes during my...
Oh, he doesn't even want to talk to me about that.
Tell me.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
I really
no.
needed that
Fine.
I'd
There have been several articles written about me, Mr. Knight, as well as blurbs on my book jackets. If you want a biography, read.
Oh.
There have been several...
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible if that's the gods demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Azuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice? Or where will we find one? Azuli is the gentlest of Loa, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Hungan tremble before a possession by one of the more violent Loa, such as Papa Neegle. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that the Loa will simply take it for themselves.
Tell me...
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most Voodoo sects probably haven't seen a human sacrifice for several generations.
Tell me...
I wouldn't dwell...
Okay, so like I said, I could show him this, and it'll be like, oh my god, this is genuine.
Okay. Oh, do
keep in touch. Yeah, we'll be best friends in a while. So I won't give him that now. I will show that. Yeah, I wanted to show the things that I have too many people here. Because I don't usually do that. I don't remember what they say and how they react. Like this. I don't think he'll say anything.
Do you know anything about these crosses? I think there's some kind of code.
Looks like a lot of hen tracks to me, man.
No,
looks.
This.
Do you recognize this?
Don't look familiar.
I'm gonna show you this. I think you can show this to the guy who does the patterns.
Look at the voodoo paraphernalia around the body in the photograph. Are you sure you can't tell me anything about it?
No, I don't.
And oh, we should show this to the university guy before showing him the real thing. So you can show this to the guy with the illustration, but I think he says that it's too smudged up. So that's kind of a hint that you need to use this to take the one in the sand. We have a lot of things to ask you. Well, a lot. Baby.
Do you know anything about Veves?
No, sir. Never heard of them.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
This is quite a place you...
Thank you, Mr. Knight. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
So...
Oh, here and there, we accept donations of any pertinent...
Did you ever...
You mean besides...
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kind of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here. I do not play basketball.
Who, me? No, you just look like such a natural athlete.
I do find ways of keeping fit, Mr. Knight. After all, our bodies are temples.
You sound like Grace. I should get the two of you together.
Is Grace your wife?
No, she just acts like it. So what do you think about summer weather? Have you ever seen it so overcast or so muggy?
It is unpleasant. The heavens are not pleased.
Nah.
I prefer simple cotton to...
I'll have to remember.
Okay.
So...
Those who truly seek understanding are few.
Yep. Sounds about like mine. So where'd you...
Oh, here and there.
Could I ask you...
Of course.
I found our message very stimulating, he said.
Do you know...
I believe they have something to do with Haitian voodoo, but that is not really my area.
Are you...
Unfortunately, I do not know much about totem masks. The practice was more African than American, and that is not my area of expertise.
Okay, thanks. Are you sure? Okay. Is
not hoodoo.
She referred me to your museum.
Many have read about our museum in the newspapers, Mr. Knight.
That's a good point.
Huh, that's interesting.
Are you?
Quite.
Can talk to her about Malia. It's just...
Tell me more.
You have
That's it.
Tell me.
Right? I don't know about that. Yeah, we talked about everything. It's so interesting.
Could you look at this and tell me if you recognize?
This is truly offensive. This is from one of those recent killings, is it not?
Well, actually...
But the police already know that this so-called voodoo ritual is fake. Voodoo is a respectable religion. This kind of thing has nothing to do with voodoo in this city.
Fine. Let's say that's true. Are you sure there's nothing about the items in this photo?
There is nothing about this sickness that I would identify as voodoo. Nothing.
Thanks for looking then. Do these symbols mean anything to you?
No. They look like nonsense to me. Where did you get them, if I might inquire?
I saw them scribbled somewhere. Just graffiti, I guess.
I see. By the way, I forgot to warn you, Mr. Knight. The local cemeteries are quite dangerous. Muggers, vandals. I would avoid going there alone, if I were you.
Really? Thanks for the advice.
Wow. We're getting a lot of hints here, hint. That, yeah, we just ask him about this that we took at the cemetery. He asked us, where did you see that? And I'm just like, oh, I saw it scribbled somewhere. And he's like, watch out in the cemetery. Everything will be just fine.
This is the last.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Does this pattern look familiar?
Does this look familiar to you?
Where did you get that?
You do recognize it then?
I have never seen it before in my life.
Int. Okay. If that's all. Oh, and one last thing. Oh, can we show him this?
Perhaps Gabriel should learn more about the scale.
Thanks a lot.
What?
Walk carefully out there, Mr. Knight.
I had a feeling you'd be back.
Really? Boy, you are amazing.
You
Please,
are amazing.
be seated.
You saw it in the stars. Look at this. I think we showed her.
Are you sure you can't?
Yeah, we showed her. How about... She can definitely do something about this.
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
Ah, the voodoo code. It is very secret, yes. I studied it with my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
Let's see. Well, some of it is nonsense, I'm afraid. Whoever wrote this wasn't very good.
That's all right. Just tell me what it says.
It starts with a D and a J, and then... Okay, this part makes sense. It says, conclave tonight, bring... then there's more nonsense. F-W-E-T-K-A-S-H. Well, that last bit might mean cash. Fresh cash? It doesn't make much sense.
That's okay, thanks. DJ Conclave. K-A-S-H. It's a start.
I'm happy I could help.
But we just heard at the university that a fouet cache is something. It's kind of a fouet, a whip. In French, fouet is a whip. So, there you go. There's a French name. There's a French thing. Not the cache part, but fouet. Like to whip something in French is to fouetter. So
could I ask you?
Of course.
Her? Oh, I want to ask her about the Veve.
Do you know any?
I don't know anything about.
What do you know about the Veve? Come on.
Tell me.
I don't.
I guess you know nothing.
I'm.
She really doesn't. In the whole game, she's useful for this, essentially.
This is the
She says, he mustn't be very good. No, you're not very good.
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic symbols. Deep magic.
Really? Have you seen them before?
No.
Then how do you know they're magic symbols?
Seeker, my eyes are unveiled to see truly that which is in front of me.
Uh-huh. Thanks. Tons.
I was about to say she's a fake, but maybe she's not a fake after all. If she doesn't understand these symbols, but she knows they're deep magic.
This is the...
Or she does understand the symbols, but she doesn't want to tell me. Because she's part of the thing. But she knows, of course she knows they are deep magic. Well, so, but it wasn't her snake. We get that. That's the snake of Paul. Yeah, that's... Yeah, we compared this, I think, with... Or we... Did we do this? Yes, we did do that. Yeah. So we know that it's not her snake, but it doesn't really mean anything. We know it's not the snake of the girl that dances. Oh, we didn't. There was another thing to do with that girl. Oh, wait, what? Bye-bye.
Well, I get...
The only...
Before I forget, or she just disappears from there. I hope she's still there. Come on. You have to be like right on the pixel edge. Okay, she's still there. Yeah, I want her to read my palms. My palm. Did you lose a veil? How about reading? That's a nice... I'll ask for the reading, but maybe she won't because I need to give her the veil.
That's a nice snake, yeah. Well, I know where I got mine. Where'd you get yours?
Whoa.
That's personal.
Okay.
I'd really like...
Sorry, sweetie, but I don't discuss Elvis with anyone.
How about a read?
The prices are...
They seem a little...
Well, I sometimes do my intimate friends for nothing, but I am a businesswoman.
I'm sure you are.
It's the first time I played, I didn't look at this. And even, I don't even think I looked at this, so I didn't get the points to compare the scales with the other. And I'm not even sure I picked up the scales. I took that, I gave her, and then I can have a reading of the palm.
Could you just do it?
Darling, you toy with me. If I thought you were serious. But no, I must stay firm.
The optional stuff in this game that gives more points are really cool. It's not like other games where it's... I don't know, sometimes it's just dumb. You flip a switch and boom, 1 point.
Could I ask you a few?
The only answers I give are given...
Okay.
Did you lose a veil?
Huh, my veil. I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune-telling, let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong. Yes, and yet so delicate and flexible.
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future.
Madame Lorelei winks at Gabriel knowingly.
She is a dangerous one. Dark and beautiful. Ah, I see the road of your life forking. And very soon.
The blood drains from Madame Lorelei's face in an instant. Sweat beads on her upper lip.
Are you okay?
They're all horses. Oh God! Beware! Beware!
Beware! Bye-bye.
What is it about me lately?
Gabriel would not mind picking up a few extra bucks by using Madame Lorelei's boot while she's gone, but he doesn't know how to belly dance.
Yeah, I remember she said something. I think everything will be just fine. Everything will be fine, all fine. I have no idea what she was talking about. A dark, beautiful woman. Dark, beautiful. I don't know any dark, beautiful. Wait a minute. What do we do? There's nothing at the cathedral. That's tomorrow. Well, I can pick up something that I'll need to get into Casanu's residence. I went in that church, and it's much better than what we just saw. I can tell you that. It's pretty.
There's a box of white
good-looking
priest's
church.
collars in the closet. In other words, the closet shelf. In other words,
It's not like a big cathedral like you enter and it's like oh. It's like I think it's like mostly wood and maybe ceramic and stuff like that, but it's subtle, but it's very detailed, and it's small but beautiful. So I don't think that image that we just saw really.
there's a box.
So we'll need a priest or outfits.
I can't resist black.
Nothing.
This here.
Well, you never know when a priest's collar will come in handy.
Yeah, if I would have looked at it,
There's a box of the closet. In other
It's not a search a pixel kind of thing. There's no pixel hunt in this game. I don't think of one. Like the only thing I would think is at the beginning, like picking up those tweezers, and this is kind of small on the screen, but I played the DOS version, which was a little less. This is 640 by 480, just this screen here, not this here. This here is 320 by, well, it's not even that because it's cut off, but it should be 320 by 240 or even 200 stretched. But yeah, I went here. So I don't think I need to do the casino residence right now. I'm gonna go give the guy this little thing here.
Mr. Knight.
I think after giving him this, he's gonna talk to us a little more. After. There.
Can you tell me anything about this?
Wow. Interesting.
Ah, shit.
Very.
I want to skip that. I want to reload. I wanted to give him this first.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph. Except for the corpse, of course. But the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia. Reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand?
Really? Interesting. Thanks.
Okay. So I can give him this. This first.
Can you tell me?
No, I've never...
Really?
I am never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
Oh, did he say that they were nothing?
Can you tell?
No, I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
I've never seen these symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless. That's a very smart guy. That's mean that if I see like a language that I haven't seen before, that means that they are meaningless.
This is
Yes, of course.
Can you tell me anything about this pattern?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back. Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating veve. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself. Each of the symbols in the veve represents something. A loa, a place. Where did you get this?
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
No, you're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this veve is authentic, then?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm, undercover. You can contact me at the St. George's bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this if you don't mind.
Okay, now he's going to talk to us.
Not...
What can you...
You already sat through my...
No?
What do you...
Just what I read in the papers, and I wasn't interested before, but now... Yes, I'd like to figure out where these people come from, and what they're up to. They are obviously some very frightening and deadly serious voodoo.
Black voodoo.
What do you know about...
I'm hoping you'll... If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should...
What can you...
I'm not. I'm not.
Tell me what you...
Well, like any religion, the beliefs can tend toward positive or negative ends. Can be used for good or evil. Christianity, for example, has its doppelganger, Satanism. Anytime you attempt to set up an icon to explain evil, you invite some warped mind to worship it. The same is true of voodoo. There are those who are drawn by and desire personal power from the darker, bloodier Loa.
Can you give me an
All right. There is a very secret, very dark cult in Haiti called the Cult de Mort, Cult of the Dead. Their primary Loa is Baba Nebo, Loa of the Cemetery. They practice a particularly disgusting form of necromancy, magic using the dead. They dig up corpses and use their decaying bodies for various spells and curses.
Can you give me another example?
In tribal Africa there were, and still are, black Bokors, shamans bent towards the dark, who not only practice necromancy, but also human sacrifice.
Is there anything else?
Only that if it's being practiced in this city, none of us are safe. Only that if it...
Tell me.
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most...
Okay.
There have been several articles.
What's it?
I'll be gone.
Goodbye.
I'm sure everything will be just fine. Let's go talk to Grandma about Black Voodoo. Oh, yeah. Let's talk to Grandma.
It's my...
Your own.
Make yourself at...
I want to talk to her about, maybe I can ask her about the phone calls I'm having. Relative in Germany.
Can we...
Wolfgang Ritter.
Do you know anyone named Wolfgang Ritter?
Wolfgang Ritter? Oh, no, dear.
Odd. Do you know anyone... You know... Tell me about...
Your mother was...
Okay, we talked about all this.
Do you know anything?
Black voodoo? Is that something new?
I don't think so.
I don't know much about any kind of...
Do you know...
What, dear?
Never mind.
So we don't have, like, we have all the pieces of the puzzle. The puzzle is essentially that, the clock here upstairs.
Enjoy it.
So we know we have Ritter family. Well, we know, we suspect. There's a guy that named in our book. I won't go back, but in our bookstore, there's a book about a poem about the 3 dragons, and in another bookshelf there's a, and that book is written by Heinz Ritter, and Gabriel says that like he has a connection to that book, or it reminds him of something, like he likes it, and there's a dictionary that talks about does it, I think it says that dragon and snake is the same thing or similar, and that the Draken is dragon. So all that is a wrap up in the three snakes. We see 3 snakes everywhere in our dreams. In here, 3 snakes. So all this is supposed to tell us to put this at 3 snakes or 3 dragon. This is the dragon. How I figured it out is I definitely saw that 3 was an important number, so I immediately put it at 3. Yeah, like this. I put it at 3 o'clock. And I guessed it. I literally guessed it, but I guessed right. This was my first guess. I was like, okay, 3 is an important number, so let's put that. What the fuck's going on? Just, it doesn't want to put...
The face of...
What the fuck? What, is it my mouse? What's the fuck's going on? Okay, whatever. We'll put the dragon first. What the fuck?
The face of the...
That was never a problem. Fuck. So weird. There you go.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
This is where I had some problems.
The photo, probably at least 50 years old, shows 2 young men standing with an older man outside a castle.
I wonder who they are.
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the recurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tipped bold strokes and underlining.
For the next session that I'll play this, I will bring forward this. There's a PDF of that, and there's a comic that goes with it. That explains earlier events, and even though it's cool to see it first, it kind of makes more sense like at this moment in the story, or just like in the mid part, because if you read that letter before starting the game, I think it feels weird, because when I first played it I didn't even know it existed. I played the floppy version and that's it. Didn't have that, didn't have well, it might have it, but yeah, I acquired the floppy version by someone. It was a copy, of course, and but eventually I bought it like in a it was a collection of games. There was like Gabriel Knight, Les Larry 1 VGA, and Quest for Glory 4. There was a couple of games, 6 games I think, and Gabriel Knight CD was in there, and I think on that CD was the PDF I'm talking about. And I was like, wow, I never knew. When I rediscovered this game on CD, I was blown away because the voices and all, and that's like maybe 1 year or 2 years after that, after playing this on floppy. So now that we have all this information, can we check?
This is
or look at it? Yeah.
The old photographs show Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified.
Oh, maybe she's gonna say something else once we identify these people. Grandma, we need to talk.
That's it.
Can we talk?
Of course.
Whoa, there's a lot of new stuff here. Schattenjäger.
Have you ever heard of a Schattenjäger?
Schattenjäger? Schattenjäger. How odd, Gabriel. I haven't heard that word in years. My goodness, you've given me a chill. Your granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
Really?
Do you know what it means?
No, I'm afraid not. I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
That... Have...
I don't...
Let's go with Heinz.
Do you know anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Heinz Ritter? Oh, Gabriel. Where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
I promised I'd never tell you or your father. But I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Tell me, Gran.
Your granddad's name was Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Why did Granddad change?
I don't know. I tried to ask him about his family, his life before America, but he didn't want to talk about it. Never even told me about his name change. I found out one day when I saw his passport in a drawer, since he obviously found it painful. I never questioned him about it. But I'm sure it wasn't trouble with the law. Your granddad was the best man I ever knew.
Didn't Granddad ever say anything about his past or his family?
Only that his family was crazy, and that he never wanted to see them again. He believed in some family curse, thought that he could spare Philip and Philip's children from what he called old nightmares. Whatever Harrison wanted to spare you, though, it cost him plenty. He never did sleep well, and he would often get a far-away, guilty look in his eyes. He was wrestling with something he thought he should be doing, someplace he thought he ought to be. I don't know how he could think that he should be anywhere but with me and our child. It's a terrible way to live.
Okay.
Do you know...
I've told you all...
Do you know anyone named Wolfgang Ritter?
As I said, your granddad's surname was originally Ritter. I never learned much about his family, but from things he said, I always thought he had a brother back in Germany. I don't know if Wolfgang Ritter is related to your granddad or not.
Do you know...
I don't know.
What about the letter?
Does this mean anything to you?
No, dear. I'm afraid I don't speak a word of German.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
That one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other two I don't know.
Okay, that's it. Oh, I thought we would give... he made a copy. Still have it. Okay.
Well, Gran...
Oh.
I think we can call Mr. Wolfgang now. Now Gabriel will want to talk to him. Like before, it was like, I'm not calling Germany. He said, I want to have a good reason to call Germany. So I think that's a good reason, hasn't he? I'm gonna go back to the police station just a second. I want to talk to Mosley about a couple of things. Notably, the genuineness of the voodoo killings. Voodoo killings, I don't know. I still don't know. I've been hearing about voodoo for a year.
Yeah, what is it?
For years, yeah, for years.
Can I ask you?
What about the Veda?
Do you know anything?
What?
Beves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight? That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These beves...
Look, just stop worrying about them marks. I don't think they're relevant.
Do you know... Do you know...
Black voodoo? Sounds like a put-on to me.
Do you know it?
Black.
Have you ever heard?
No. Ha! Is that anything like a Chuck Yeager?
I don't think there's any relation. What's the
I told.
Okay.
Have you ever called a hair club for men?
I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
I'll let you
play.
We could have talked to him about a bunch. Exactly.
Got a second, officer?
I said that before when he said that line, because not the first insult that we throw at Mosley, but yeah, I would much rather have this than this. Like this or this. Pick.
Have you ever...
Can't say that I have.
Do you know...
Black. Voodoo. Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Hey.
Actually, no.
Well, all I know about voodoo is to keep away from it. You should too, Knight.
Knight.
Do you know...
Revés? Never heard of it.
Revés. Revés. Not Revés, dumbass. Oh, let's go talk to Dr. Jones. Hey, next, I hate to say it, but he reminds me of young Golden Brian. What's up? Hey, Universe.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad
Hello,
you could
Dr.
return
John.
to us, Mr. Knight.
What's up is I'm playing Gabriel Knight and enjoying it a lot, like always. This is not my first game. This is my first game of the game. It's great! Hey, Universe, I wanted to ask you something. I'm not sure, but it's been bugging me. Weren't you the guy who... I say that because you seem to have completely changed your channel. You used to play like Soul Reaver and Sonic and stuff like that, but now it's mostly WoW and other games that I'm less interested in. I was like, like seriously, I was like, nope, not me. Okay, okay.
Could I ask?
Of course.
Let's talk about Schottenjäger.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
I have not.
Have you?
I kind of sit on a game for a week and then move on. What are you playing right now?
Do you know any?
That sort of viewpoint makes my work very difficult, Mr. Knight.
I'm not implying that all voodoo is evil, but there are certain practitioners that use voodoo towards a darker end.
No one that I am familiar with. If there are one or two ignorant believers, that is none of my concern. And I do not care to promote a Hollywood interpretation of voodoo by discussing it.
Okay.
Do you know?
I believe they have something to do.
Well, he doesn't talk about that. He doesn't like that. He doesn't know about this, of course. Malia, he doesn't want to talk about Malia. None of these things he wants to.
Are you?
I am
sure. Okay, we're done with you. Bye. Let's call Germany.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Come.
Like the drummer again at the outside of this house. I want to talk to her about Black Voodoo and maybe Schottenjäger.
I had...
Really?
Oh, you are amazing.
Please, be seated.
So there's either just calling Germany that's left for this day and one last thing, I think.
I don't know.
Do you know anything?
It is the oldest, darkest heart of voodoo.
Do you know?
There are some things it is better not to know about, monsieur.
Have you?
I don't know.
Nope.
Well, I get...
Do what you
count. Hey, Greg.
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June. I could smell you from here.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of weird. Imagine he's in a jeans and coats in New Orleans in middle of June. Holy shit. Oh, you again?
Hey, kids.
Bruno.
Okay, I'm gonna just sell him the painting because that's
Gabe,
annoying.
Pet. I just popped in to see if...
I'll need to pay for that.
How much would you give me for it, Bruce?
Gabriel.
For that Germany call.
Stay out of this, Grace.
Ooh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Yeah, I'll let you have it, all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My fares are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Grace, let me deal with this.
I thought I needed $200. Fine.
Fine, it's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
He's so excited. Fucker,
You better
just
take
punch
good
him in
care
the
of this,
face.
Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display, though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you!
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
She just goes back to him. I'm gonna talk to you a bit. You still pissed?
Do you have...
Nope.
Research?
Sure.
Oh.
I have a pattern, man.
How interesting.
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Ugh. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want. But check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
I don't really know Leah Remini, but when I did a little bit of research before I posted my tweet that I'm gonna play this game on Twitter, I found out a couple of good names that played in that because I knew about Mark Hamill and Tim Curry and also Worf. What's his name? Man, tonight with the names. Michael Dorn, who's playing Worf. Michael Dorn, exactly. And but then I saw Leah Remini and the voice of the narrator, and also Jim Cummings, and I was like, oh, who's Jim Cummings? And he has played like all the cartoon voices of our childhood. But yeah, this is like littered with big actors, small actors, middle actors. Like, so it's great. I don't understand exactly how everything went on. How they got Mark Hamill. Well, how they got Mark Hamill, that I'm not so surprised. But Tim Curry, though, I don't know. No, I don't think so. This was just starting the voices in the games. Remember, or don't remember, or I'll just instruct you, that a bunch of FMV games from like 93, 94 to like 90, even late 98, you would have big names like this guy and that guy, and I can't remember any fucking names tonight. Fuck. But yeah, just Wing Commander 3 with that other guy. Fucking shit. Wing Commander 3. That's 94, and in that you have... Can you give me the names of the guys? Okay, Mark Hamill, Malcolm McDowell, who played the main role in Clockwork Orange and a couple of other films, but I think in the US it's more, people know him more as the Clockwork Orange guy. John Rhys Davis, who's played in Lord of the Rings, but also played at that moment there, he played a bunch of characters, but the one that I identify him is from Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think. He's in one of the first or the third Indiana Jones movie. Tim Curry as Malek, the voice. So maybe Tim Curry and a bunch of actors were just available or more easily available for voiced acting, because not every actor does voice. It's not exactly the same. It's difficult to express everything when we don't see your face. But no, the budget of this was good. Must have been one of the high budget games in Sierra, that's for sure. But huge? No. Let's go, Germany! Oh, this is still running, nice. Yeah, we'll let it run in all game. Oh, what's the freaking number?
You're listening to KLE.
Four 4909 324 3333.
I'm looking for Wolfgang Ritter.
Ja, einen Moment.
Yeah, is this Gabriel on the phone?
This is Gabriel Knight. Why are you calling me, Mr. Ritter?
I have been having premonitions of great danger for you, Gabriel. You must leave New Orleans this very day.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is hard to explain on the phone. I have had senses, feelings about you. It took me a long time to have you tracked down. I had a sense that Heinz had a grandson, but until these dreams started, I did not know if I should contact you.
You say you're related to my grandfather?
Yes. Heinz was my brother. There's much about the family that you should know, Gabriel. Come to Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. It is our family home. I will tell you everything when you come. You must come immediately. You are in great danger there.
Look, I appreciate the family spirit and all, but frankly I don't know you from Adam, and I'm not going to fly off to Germany even if I could afford it.
Gabriel, please. If you won't listen, at least let me send you something. It is a journal from one of your ancestors. Promise me you will read it.
Well, I'm pretty busy.
Please, Gabriel. You are the last of our line. I am too old to carry on. You are our last hope. Please, for your family, read the journal.
All right, I'll look at it.
Good. Now be careful and come to me as soon as you can. Goodbye.
At Giant Discount Bookstore, we discount every title 50%. When you see our select...
Oh, so this is not the end of the day, it seems.
See you later.
See ya.
See ya. Can we go back to Mama?
I told you.
Oh, she's out. So we need to get into Casanova's residence. It's kind of weird that we have to do this today. Because this will net us an item that will be only useful later. We never went to the Napoleon house. Let's go there. Let's talk to him about Black Voodoo. Did we talk about Black Voodoo? He's just gonna have nothing to say, of course.
Do you know any Black Voodoo? Have you? Man.
It's automatic doors.
An unhappy-looking man explores the dangers of drinking alone. A sharp-eyed gentleman in a grey sports coat hunches over a chessboard, chuckling to himself. A man in a loud tie stares morosely at a chest. A young man is deep into conversation with his girl.
I think we can talk to these people.
Hi, how's it going?
Could you excuse us? We're talking here.
Hello there.
Excuse me? I was talking to the lady.
And she was listening raptly, I'm sure. Nothing like a good game of chess, huh?
Yeah, well, this isn't a good game. This is torture.
Oh well, have fun. So,
Shh. I'm concentrating.
Fine, all right. Could I ask you?
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
What can you
Voodoo? I don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
What do you know about?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
What can you?
I'm no.
What do you know?
They say a lot of voodoo stuff is found near the bodies.
What do you?
What everybody's talking.
What can you tell me about?
Greatest city in the world. I'd never want to live anywhere else.
What can you?
A lot of people come here because they think it's mysterious. All that talk about voodoo.
What can you?
You should probably find a book.
What can you?
You should.
Do you know anything about?
What about them?
Oh, just anything.
Man, you ask the weirdest questions. I don't know anything about snakes.
Do you know? What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
All I know is it's some kind of voodoo holiday. People who believe in that stuff think it's a real special night. Magical.
What's the
people?
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Sure. She's kind of the patron saint of voodoo in New Orleans. Don't know too much about her, but tourists sure get off on all that stuff.
What's the...
People who believe in...
Does the...
You know what goes in it?
I don't think it's a drink.
Oh. Then I...
Does the...
Never.
Have you ever...
There's a voodoo museum in town. They'd know more about it than I do.
Have you ever...
There's a...
Do you know anything?
Come Mardi Gras, you see all kinds of masks in here.
Do you...
Come...
Do you know...
Never heard.
Do you know...
Black voodoo? Nah. I prefer not to think about that kind of stuff personally. Crime, perversion, weirdos. Just makes me depressed.
Do you...
Black voodoo? Nah.
Have you ever...
Never heard.
Tell me about...
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
Tell me about
a good bar.
What can you...
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other. In other words, they're in love.
What can you...
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They played every day for 20 years. Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and stuff.
Really? Thanks. What can you tell me?
I'd call you a regular, Gabe. And one of our local writer celebrities, too. Been coming in here, what, 10 years now?
Don't remind me.
We're still waiting for that bestseller.
Don't hold your breath. What?
That's about all.
Tell me about the
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say, enough already.
Sounds like my life. Tell me...
Don't know what...
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodooine and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day he went up and talked to the girl, and sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife. Poor guy.
So what has Sam...
That's about all I can...
Okay, so that's it.
That's...
Okay. So we'll need to get that guy, which is Sam, to finish his game. But for that, we need to do a bunch of stuff, and that will net us his help with a thing that I don't want to unveil right now about Madame Casino. So essentially we have to go see Madame Casino to end this this day. But it's getting really late, so I think I'll be ending this right now. And we'll continue this Tuesday. So in 2 days, tomorrow I'll be playing some Command & Conquer. Quite advanced the Nod campaign. I think I'm pretty like 3/4 in. Have a great night, you too, Doctor. And yeah, tomorrow 8 p.m. Eastern Time for some Command & Conquer. And the day after that, 8 p.m. Eastern Time from some more Gabriel Knight. The schedule can be found on my page on Twitch, and you can follow me on Twitter or Discord, or jump on the Discord server. All the links should be on Twitch. So that's it, we're gonna raid someone.
You bastard! You're a sore loser, Sam.
Yeah, Sam lost again.
You peckabud.
So we're going to raid the lad. Good night. Yeah, good night to you too. I love that name, Gabriel Knight. I wanted my son to be named Gabriel, but it didn't pass the test, it seems. So, remember to have fun, guys. Peace.